October the 13th. You. Tap. I shut off the alarm by reflex. I groggily get up to check the time. The clock reads 6:30 a.m. School starts at 8 sharp. Takes 30 minutes to get there, so I have about an extra hour. There's plenty of time left. I'm still feeling tired. Closing my eyes, I lay back down. Decide to catch some more Z's. After a brief moment, I get back up. I realize I've been forgetting something. Come to think of it, wasn't there a... I look around for the android. And there it was. Dressed in provocative clothing, with a tall nose, luscious lips, and hair glinting in silver, the android named Lucy came into my view. Lucy. As I call out to her, I'm greeted by an immediate reaction. It seems to be revving itself up. It mutters something and starts to rise off the floor. A robot with looks no different from that of a real person, also with a pretty face to boot. Don't get the wrong idea. Just because it's attractive doesn't mean I'm interested, since it's a robot. In other words, it's like checking out a girl from a magazine. Except that its feelings amplified tenfold in this case. Although technology is improving, a huge gap remains between humans and robots. You can't approach a person like you could with a robot. No matter how close a robot could simulate a human being, machine and man will always be different. As I continue staring at the android, I think to myself, what kind of greeting should I be using here? Good morning? Did you sleep well? They all feel out of place. Decided to ask her about her condition instead. How are your battery levels?
100% チャージ完了。問題は見つかりませんでした。
Good to know. I let out a yawn as I make my way over to the bathroom. Finishing up my morning ablutions, I dry myself up with a towel as I head downstairs. Entering the living room, I spot a couple of plain sandwiches on the table. Grabbing one, I start munching down. It's always the same sandwich on the convenience store just across the street. I'll chew and I glance around the living room. My father's already left for work. He always leaves early and returns late at night. Actually, he typically spends the night at work. That's how it is around here. I head back to my room. The android is waiting for me in the exact same spot. Looks like it hasn't budged an inch, as expected from a robot. Putting that aside, I start to prepare for school. While packing my bag, I start to wonder if the robot has any magical self-regenerating abilities. The guy is about 17 or 18. I don't recall if it's stated outright. Sorry. How do you feel now that you're fully charged? Are you able to walk? Its head slowly turns to face me.
下半身の関節部分に相当の負荷を感知。通常の任務を行うのは不可能と判断。よって修理を要求します。
Keep things simple, remember?
まだ歩けません。
A kinetic novel is a novel with very limited branching paths or no branching paths at all. This game has exactly one branching path, so it is technically a kinetic novel. It's a visual novel. Still? Aren't you a real pain? Anyway, I understand. I'm not even going to make the attempt to fix it myself. I'm way out of my depth here. I'll see what happens when I take it to the repair shop. Just about finished packing. The one thing left is the Android itself. So how am I going to lug this thing? Place it in my backpack. Sounds good? Come on, get in there. It's too big to fit inside my backpack. What was I expecting? I should try to use my brain next time. Second time's the good charm. Quit messing around. It's not going to fit inside my backpack. God, fine, alright. I'll carry it on my back then. Guess there's no other choice. I kneel down, facing away from the robot. Alright, hop onto my back. It tilts its head to the side, looking confused. After noticing that, I started to get a little irritated. Top of the line? Yeah, right. Am I supposed to explain every little thing? Listen up. Put your arms around my neck and climb onto my back. Can you do that? It follows my instructions to the letter.
確認要請。この方法で合っていますか?
Stop! I surrender! The strangling grip loosens. I collapse to my knees in a coffee fit. I think I nearly blacked out there. Are you trying to murder me? There's no need to put that much force into it. Just do it enough to not fall off. Honest to God, I thought I was a goner. I think he's got a steel vice chokehold. This android should look to be a world wrestling champion. Okay, let's try that again. Second time's the charm. Rising off the floor, I brace myself for the extra weight. Huh? But lo and behold, it was deceptively light. I'm coming around to appreciate this first-class product. And liftoff. The weather's not too bad. The brisk autumn breeze is cool against my skin. I gladly inhale the crisp morning air, letting last night's stress melt away. The streets are still quiet, which is good. The less there is to see, the better. Especially with what I'm lugging on my back. Let's see here. Where's that repair shop? Memory serves should be about 15 minutes away, which is a relief. I'm not really what you call a fit guy. Not sure I can schlep this thing around much longer. And now this robot's fidgeting. Hold on tighter so you don't fall off. Feels like I'm scolding a child. Hey, stop moving around so much. I feel the android in my clothes. Its texture feels surprisingly similar to a human's. I've noticed it yesterday, yet it still manages to surprise me again today. And that's not the only thing. It's warm to the touch. It feels as if I'm carrying an actual person. Probably just its heating system. That would explain it. Wow, it feels just like a real person. I mutter to myself absent-mindedly.
冷却器および温度計は正常に作動しています。
Say what?
人間の温度を目安に精密な発熱量の調節を繰り返し行っています。
Good to know. Motherboards and microprocessors consisting of various computer chips. There must be thousands of those inside a single android. The heat emanating from the machine is as warm as human skin. It feels just like us. It's not a real person. It's an elaborate fake. Sometimes I fear what progress in technology would bring to the future. Do you know where we're headed? With a word, the robot shakes its head sideways. Yes, this game was originally in Korean, and I'm guessing a lot of the background images are just stock visual novel stuff, because I recognize some of it in other visual novels. We're going to a place that'll get you fixed up. When they begin the repairs, you need to be still and quiet, so they won't be distracted. Do you understand? Hey, I'm asking if you understood. Say something. Maybe it took my command literally. I just hope it got my message. Letting out a frustrated sigh, I can resume walking. It'll be about time for my classmates to head in. Begin to hurry as to avoid running into anyone that might recognize me. I arrive at the place in an aching and huffing mess. Sure has the looks of a small antique shop, though mostly dealing in second-hand goods. They do dabble in robot repairs. Word is that there's even a fixer who likes robotics, and that he's half decent. Normally I wouldn't be caught in a place like this, but these are unusual circumstances. What? A customer already? Hold on a second. Talk about a grumpy demeanor. After a while, a man emerges from the back, scratching his head. And judging from that none too pleasant expression, I'm pretty sure the guy's not an early riser. Stifling a yawn, he asks, "So what can I do for you so early in the morning?" Unable to move my arms, I gesture at the robot draped over my back with my chin. "Can you fix this?" "Is that an android?" Flopping his tired eyes, he gazes intently at the robot. "Let me see here. I don't think I've ever seen this model before." I spot a glint of curiosity in those sleepy, half-closed eyes of his. He walks over to take a closer look. Well, I'm stumped. Can't make out the model. It's probably some obscure model from an unknown company, or it's never actually been released in public. Where'd you get this, kid? Well, how should I play this? He might actually call the cops on me, as what I did was clearly illegal. So, what should I say? I'll just tell him the truth. I found it in the junkyard. Junkyard? You don't mean that company's junkyard? He tosses his thumb over his shoulder. I'm not exactly sure where he's referring to, but I haven't seen any other junkyards around here, so... yeah, that's probably the one. You've got some guts, kid. I hope you know how much the fines are. I know that anything in the world is free as long as you don't get caught. You're funny, kid. I like that. Well, guess he's cool with it. Wait a minute. What's this? A nasty frown forms on his face. Is something wrong? Yeah, you could say that. Suddenly he starts fussing like a little kid. What kind of sicko would do this? Just look at it. The whole frame's ruined. It won't even be able to move around properly on its own. He was right. Pretty savvy of him to point that out. I guess he's the real deal after all. So you think you can fix it? That's not the main issue here. There's something more important. And what's that? Do you have the resolve to take proper care of an android? The resolve? Where'd this come from? Listen, androids break easily, they're fragile, they're sensitive, they're delicate. You get what I'm saying here? He emphasizes his point 3 times. That's how passionate he was about it. I can see that he really loves his robots. But at the same time, he's starting to freak me out. He continues the rant. To a lot of people, androids are nothing but fancy toys nowadays. I mean, those kind of folks pay for my food and my bills. I mean, but whenever I hear about how they've been mistreating their androids, I tend to lose my temper. They don't understand how important these creatures really are to us. I unwittingly take a small step back. Creatures. This man just referred to androids as creatures. He's not right in the head. From time to time, there's been people who fall in love with robots. Not just carnal desire. I'm talking about people who are willing to spend the rest of their lives with androids, treating them as equals. It's a controversial topic that's getting more discussion. It's an abnormality spawning from advanced civilization with constant innovation and technology. As someone who's never seen it firsthand, I've always refused to believe it. I can't believe people actually exist. An android simply lacks the intellect to be paired with a human being. It's nothing but a glorified hunk of metal that can make our lives a bit easier. I'd rather spend my entire life with a monkey. At least monkeys are actual living creatures. And they share many of the same similarities with humans. This is my first-hand experience with such a case. And I feel more disappointed than shocked. He seems perfectly normal. Guess you can't judge a book by its cover. I'll get it fixed, but you better treat it right. Got it? Really? I'm not the one who banged it up in the first place. Even so, I don't feel it's worth starting an argument over. Let's just get this over with. Crystal. Yeah! What a great kid. At least you listen to what someone's telling you something. Since we're all chummy now, how about lowering your price? Ha! Don't push your luck, kid. That was a full 180. So much for our budding friendship. You know what? Fine. Half price, since you're my first customer of the day. I'm relieved to hear that. Any discounts most certainly welcome. Great, can you have it ready by the end of school? It's a pretty light day, so yeah, it's doable. Punches some numbers into his calculator. Then he shows me the results. I was planning on charging you only about this much. What do you think? I blank out for a bit. There are a lot of video games I've always wanted to buy. I also needed to save up for new textbooks that I'll be using next year. This robot had better pay for itself. Fine, I'll pay you when I get back. Holding out my treasured pocket watch, I glanced at the time. No, I wasted way too much time here. An outdated gear clocker in this day and age? I like it. Has a nostalgic charm. I'm well aware that these types of watches are hard to find. But more importantly, this is my personal way of rebelling against this continuously developing society. Hey, you piece of junk. Can't you hear me? No response. I finally decided to adjust it by name. Lucy. The robot immediately reacts. What's with this thing? I'll be back after school. Behave yourself. Excuse me. I gotta say that properly. Y'all behaving here, you hear? The android wobbles its head back and forth. I'm hoping it understood me. And with that, I leave the shop.